Truth Unveiled here, keeping you updated with the latest, and today we're going to be talking about all of the recent shutdowns that have been going on due to the coronavirus, and then I'm going to be telling you the prophetic significance behind all of this and also the judgment that is even at the door that is finally coming to fruition. Now we're here at BBC that says coronavirus, Trump suspends travel from Europe to US. Now again, as events change over time, we're going to be keeping you updated as they happen and as they go. But for right now, this says that President Donald Trump has announced sweeping travel restrictions on 26 European countries in a bid to combat the spread of the coronavirus. The ban applies to travelers from countries which are members of the Schengen border-free travel area. UK, Ireland, and other non-Schengen countries are unaffected. US citizens are also exempt. The EU condemned the measures, which said it were taken unilaterally and without consultation, and they go into effect as of midnight tonight actually. So we start to see the effects, but that's not the only thing that has happened recently. According to a report from ESPN, the NBA has also decided to suspend their season until further notice after a player confirmed positive for the coronavirus, as you see right here. So not only has there been travel restrictions, but now there's also NBA suspensions for the entire season. Now pay attention to this. It's not just a couple of games. It's not just for a week. It's the entire season. Now here's the press conference right here. If you would like to read it on your own time, you can pause the video to learn more. But folks, it's very important that you see and understand what's going on and how the hand of our Creator is moving like never before, especially when you pay attention and note the timing of all of this as well. And it's not just the NBA, because a report from the New York Post also came out today announcing this, that the NHL, or the National Hockey League, has suspended its season amid the coronavirus outbreak as well. According to the press release, and I will leave all of this in the description box below so that you can read it on your own time, National Hockey League Commissioner Gary Bettman today released the following statement regarding the 2019-2020 NHL season. Quote, "In light of ongoing developments resulting from the coronavirus, and after consulting with medical experts and convening a conference call of the Board of Governors, the NHL is announcing today that it will pause the 2019-2020 season beginning with tonight's games." And again, I will leave this in the description box below so you can read it on your own time. You can also pause the video if you would like to read it. But again, pay careful attention. The NBA, the NHL, and also travel restrictions. Very interesting and suspicious indeed. But that's not the only thing, because it's Broadway too. Just today, recently actually, Broadway has announced that it's shutting down all of its productions over the coronavirus as well, and this is according to a report from the New York Post. And it's not just with that either, it's also the Lincoln Center, Carnegie Hall, and the Met that have also closed following the temporary shutdown of Broadway, because according to IndieWire, New York governor shuts down all Broadway shows as other institution closes over COVID-19, or the coronavirus. And as far as Broadway is concerned, all of that is to be effective as of tomorrow. But if you look at the Metropolitan Opera's website, they'll tell you that all Met performances have been canceled through March 31st, effective immediately. So you see the shutdown is taking place right before our eyes. And schools also, because according to edweek.org, the shutdown by coronavirus, schools scramble to feed students. And if you take a look at this article, you'll see that as of Monday earlier this week, well over 500 U.S. schools have been closed or are scheduled to close, affecting over 300,000 students, according to Education Week's tracking of coronavirus-related shutdowns. And again, this number will be increasing as there are more shutdowns that occur. Not just here in the U.S., because as we've also reported yesterday, we already see how the shutdown is affecting places in Europe, such as Italy, with the entire nation on lockdown and quarantine. But here, if you go to the UNESCO website, you'll see that there's even more educational disruption and response, because as of today, a record number of children and youth are not attending school or university because of temporary or indefinite closures mandated by governments in an attempt to slow slow down the spread of the coronavirus, or COVID-19. As of today, 46 countries in Asia, Europe, the Middle East, North America, and South America have announced or implemented school and university closures. UNESCO is providing immediate support to countries, including solutions for inclusive distance learning. 26 countries have shut schools nationwide, impacting almost 376.9 million children and youth all over the world. A further 20 countries have implemented localized school closures to prevent or contain the spread of it. Should these countries also order nationwide school and university closures, it would disrupt the education of, 500 million additional children and youth, and all of this is taking place within a short period of time. Now again, we've already gone over in yesterday's video about New York and how the National Guard has been in place in New Rochelle, New York, in establishing containment areas, and we've talked about this. As well as Italy. We've already talked about what? Problem, reaction, solution, because folks, it's already starting. The agenda is already here. Martial law is already in place. The shutdown is here. It's not coming, it's here. And you need to see it with both your eyes open, because this is from the Wall Street Journal that says Italy hardens nationwide quarantine. Italy ordered the nationwide closure of all restaurants and bars, along with most stores, as it raced to contain the coronavirus outbreak. Again, once again, Italy is a guinea pig in tests before they bring it to America. Violent revolts. Do you see that? Chaos has already started. Order out of chaos. The rioting has already begun. And notice how they're making this and turning this into a race thing when it comes to East Asia and China. Again, trying to get this race war started any way, shape, or form that they can. But they even say that violent revolts have erupted in several Italian prisons after authorities suspended visits to curb the spread of the coronavirus. You already see that Broadway has been shut down, the NBA has been shut down, the NHL has been shut down, and there have been travel bans and travel restrictions throughout Europe and the US, and it's only going to further and heighten from there. Not only that, but also Carnegie Hall has been shut down, the Lincoln Center has been shut down, and there are even reports of the MOMA being shut down as well. But what will happen when banks shut down? What will happen when the ATMs will shut down? What will happen if grocery stores were to shut down? Do you see how this could lead up to violent revolts? That's exactly the bigger agenda here. See the agenda and the warning signs ahead of time. Not only that, but public gatherings have been banned too. So how are people going to get to the stores to get what they need for their homes? Do you see what this is leading up to? Now, as of right now, from the time that this video was made and uploaded, this is a current map of the COVID-19 outbreak as of yesterday, actually. Now, as you can see right here, it has affected most places in Eastern Asia, all of Europe practically, and of course, over here in the US, Canada, and Mexico. But notice how it's very interesting that it seems as though one place in the world, when you look at the majority of the content, one place in the world has not been affected. I wonder why that is. Could it have something to do with judgment? And not only that, but you also see that the economy is collapsing as well. Do you think that's a surprise or a coincidence? No, it is not. You see that it is the hand of our Creator moving what? Judgment for the wicked. Again, why do you think there are travel warnings and travel restrictions? You see how our Creator, Yahuwah, is taking away privileges right before our very eyes. They're taking away the privileges of the Gentiles or the other nations. Because before, you could just watch an NBA game or an NHL game or travel anywhere that you want. But now, it looks as though those things are slowly but surely being taken away. You could go to a Broadway production with no problem. But now, it seems as though it's being taken away. What? Taking away the privileges, because it's time for judgment, because it's the end of the 400 years. And if you've been following this channel for the past how many years, then you would know that we are at the end of the 400 years, the tail end of it. And for those who are trying to debunk and debate this, you need to understand that it is the end of the full 400-year prophecy. And notice how this is right before Passover, right before the spring appointed times. And what does the Creator say in Brashit Genesis chapter 15, verses 13 through 14? That what? That nation would be judged. And the beginning blocks of that judgment is here now. It is not coming, it is here. The 400 years is almost over, and the captivity and oppression of one group of people who have been scattered all over the world is about to come to an end. But guess what? The oppression and captivity of the rest of the world who has afflicted these groups of people will soon begin. So what I suggest you do is really get on your knees and repent. Pray like never before and seek Yahuwah and his true son Yahusha so that you can be spared from all of the plagues and punishments that are coming. Get your head out of the sand and understand that things are changing rapidly. Understand that things are coming to an end. Understand that soon enough the world will soon come to an end so that what? The kingdom will come. But are you ready for it? That is the question. But I'll continue to keep you updated on this network with everything, but it's really important that you pay attention to everything, folks, especially the signs and appointed times. This is Truth Unveiled here saying, as always, Shalom.